Hey, I'm going to discuss how to play the chromatic scale on the chromatic harmonica. The chromatic scale, of course, refers to all of the notes that are available in the Western musical system. So a major scale is composed of some whole steps and half steps, and any diatonic scale is composed of a series of whole steps and half steps, and so there's pitches that we skip. The chromatic scale is all of the notes. And of course the chromatic harmonica is named such because it can produce all of the pitches. With this slide here, the slide raises the pitch a half step. So I want to make you aware that there's a couple different ways that you can play the chromatic scale because of the fact that there's two ways to play F natural and C natural. Once we get into the middle of the harmonica, we have an alternate F on hole number 2, and we have an alternate C on hole number 4. That pattern continues up the harmonica. So, I have a way. I'm going to teach you how I play the chromatic scale. This to me is the simplest way to teach it also. So be aware that there's a couple of different approaches. There may be different opinions out there. I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, so pretty intuitive pattern starting on the bottom of the harmonica. We're going to play, that note is C on a C harmonica. Hole number 1, blow, slide. There's the first two notes of the chromatic scale. We're going to play the same pattern on the draw note off of D. So it's going to be, we play the D and then we push the slide in. So we have C, C sharp, and then on the draw we have D, D sharp. Play these four tones and play them up and down so you can play them backwards and forward. So spend as much time as you need to here, okay? Being aware that we're playing C, C sharp, D, D sharp. Do me a favor, jump on up to hole number 3 and play the same exact pattern. Skip on up, skip another hole to hole 5, and play the same pattern. Being aware that hole 5 is an octave above where we started hole number 1. So here's the thing about this pattern that we've played, this breath and slide pattern, this blow, slide, draw, slide thing that we've played, is that it feels like the entire instrument should work that way. When we get up to hole number 2, it feels like we should be able to do the same thing and just move on up the harmonica. That's not the case. I started off by skipping holes intentionally because that blow, slide, draw, slide pattern skips holes. So it's going to be hole number 1 and hole number 3, and then starting over with the octave on hole number 5, and then on up to hole number 7, that blow, slide, draw, slide. Holes 2 and holes 4 behave differently, so we have to get used to the idiosyncrasies of those holes. So the problem with hole number 2 is that we have F natural showing up twice. So if you played blow, slide, draw, slide, you can hear the repeated F. You'd be playing F twice, and so we need to skip one of the Fs. So what we're going to do is we're going to start it just like we started hole number 1 with blow, slide. Leave the slide in and draw. We're playing E, F, F sharp. Here's the difference. Hole number 1 produces 4 chromatic tones. Hole number 3 produces 4 chromatic tones. Hole number 2 produces only 3 chromatic tones. So you can save yourself a lot of confusion and frustration just being aware, oh yeah, okay, hole number 2, we're only playing 3 notes. So the pattern, once again, is blow, slide, leave the slide in, draw. 3 notes. Practice E, F, and F sharp repeatedly until you get used to that idea. My suggestion then is to combine holes 1 and 2. You're thinking to yourself, I'm going to play the 4 chromatic tones of hole number 1, move up to hole number 2 and play the 3 chromatic tones available in that hole. 7 notes altogether. Then get so you can play it backwards. See what I'm talking about? There, it took a little bit of thinking on my part. Then, the next thing you could do is you could combine holes 2 and 3. So, I just want to say this. The thing about the familiar blow, slide, draw, slide pattern, I use that as a home base, as a kind of a milestone or a marker, or, okay, I'm on this hole where it behaves normally, you know? And it is kind of the majority. The majority of the harmonica does that, if you think about it, as you skip holes. Every other hole is idiosyncratic, but that's how I think of it. Anyway, combine holes 2 and 3. Hole 2 has its thing where it's only 3 tones, and then we go up to the familiar hole 3 with its 4 chromatic tones. Then, of course, you can combine the first 3 holes, play all the chromatic tones that are available, which is almost the entire scale. It's 11 of the 12 chromatic tones. So that's C to B flat. Okay? Let's talk about hole number 4, which is real different. Hole number 4 produces 2 chromatic tones, or we could just use it for 1 chromatic tone. It depends on what we're doing. My suggestion for playing a 1-octave chromatic scale, starting on C, is to... We're at the B flat, hole number 3 draw with a slide in. Move up to hole number 4 draw, which is B. Then complete the octave by just staying there, continuing to draw. Push the slide in for the slide C. The draw C, the alternate C. So, we're just playing 2 chromatic tones in hole number 4. I know it's weird. I hope I don't confuse you further, but I want to say this. If you're going to play a 2-octave chromatic scale, here's my suggestion. We're going to get up to B. Then I would want you to start over, and instead of playing the draw C, I want you to jump up to hole number 5. Hole number 5 becomes the familiar blow, draw, blow, slide, draw, slide pattern that we've been talking about, that's skipping holes. That way you're starting over and you're not getting lost, and you're like, you could do the draw C and then jump up to a C sharp. To me, that's too much. I mean, muscle memory, I could learn it that way. I'm still, with a chromatic scale, it's not like I practice it all the time. So I'm still having to think a little bit. You can hear me sometimes maybe stumbling with it. Up to hole 5 blow for the C. Then Two-octave C chromatic scale. So, 3 chromatic tones in hole number 2, right? Then hole number 4, we're just playing B. We're just playing one note, and then we're jumping up and starting the pattern all over again. It's a really awesome feeling of accomplishment. That's a 3-octave chromatic scale, taking it all the way up to the below C at the top of the instrument. There's 2 more tones that are available on the 12-hole harmonica, C sharp and D. I don't want to talk about the high D right now. I'm just going to leave this here. If you could play a 3-octave chromatic scale up to high C, that's pretty awesome. And backwards, doing it back down. My next challenge for you would be to start the scale on G. And well, let's just start it on hole number 2. That would be E. Get so you can start it on any of the blow holes. So holes 2 or 3. So you're playing an E chromatic scale and a G chromatic scale. See, I had to think about it. Anyway, playing the chromatic scale from any of the pitches, like doing an F sharp chromatic scale, that's something I need to work on. It's something I can do, but not in front of the camera right now. So that's my suggestion, is to get the C chromatic scale under your belt, then to be able to start from the E or the G, holes 2 or 3, and play chromatic scales off of those pitches. That's all for now. I do have a harmonica method that is available where I discuss 3 different kind of diatonic scales in 4 different keys. We are arpeggiating 7th chords and 9th chords, and then we get into blues lessons in those same 4 keys. It's pretty awesome. It's 4 hours worth of instruction for $39 at this point. Anyway, I'll see you guys at SPA 2018, which is next month.